Dow Jones Industrial Average above 50,000 for the first time in history, and an incredible reversal, 2,300 points off of the lows last night, and a new record high for the DJI. Although tech still showing some laggard chip here. We'll get into that, the numbers, and everything else here. But first, if you guys like the video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Absolutely crushing it in the trading room here. And again, don't forget, first month 60% off, 30% off swing trades here. Get in on that while you can. We're also moving those live streams. Those are you guys are having fun with those this morning, and I appreciate you guys coming out. But yeah, those are I'm getting in and getting settled into doing those lately. In addition to the shorts on the other channel, Carnivore Trades, obviously. Anyways, let's get into it today. What a reversal here. So we talked yesterday. I said, look, tech is still really weak, but would it shock me if we squeezed? No, we laid out the case for that, and we got there last night. I did pick up. I took a rare 8:30 at night trade last night on SPXL, and that worked out pretty well. I did not hold it as long as I would have liked to. I thought we would have petered out around maybe 686 SPY, but they really went for it today. And it became apparent here towards the middle of the session. We had the big surge here early, straight up gap and go trend day. And, really the tech was just kind of soft. Momentum kind of drying up towards the lunch hour, but they wanted that Dow 50K. And when they want that, they love to do it on Fridays too. They just threw the kitchen sink at it, right? I mean, like they threw NVIDIA at it. They threw Broadcom here. We got pretty close to 80% breadth. Ironically, Google actually negative today. That's been a market leader. And Apple, which finally hit our 280 target, great gain on that as well, on those runners. That's been kind of soft today too. So it was more so, it was really mostly NVIDIA, honestly. NVIDIA, Broadcom. And then you had the other kind of memory, stocks here getting a good bid here. SNDK up 5.25, Micron up 3.2. I think, yeah, AMD caught a bid up 8% here. So nice move off the lows there. Nice dealer level at 195 too, held pretty nicely. But again, beautiful level here. And I said last night, I was like, normally I don't like to take trades this late, but when I see a sweep like that, I have to get involved. So, I did, and it was a nice little rebound here. We also took a trade on the Russell this morning too, and that went higher than I thought as well. But nonetheless, I just want to say here, let's preface everything. We'll circle back here in a second. The first things that I noticed here jumping off the bat, chips. We held the 50-day, right? We talked about that yesterday. They did not make a new low, so that was a good sign. And now they're back above the 20. We'll watch kind of, some retrace levels here, kind of into the 618 now. So chips, held up. That's a sign of strength. IGV stayed weak. Microsoft stayed weak, right? And what else? What rallied, right? The things that have been winning, right? The Russell and the Dow, right? That's what's been holding up during this decline here versus tech. I'm kind of the opinion right now here, like two things. One, everyone's bullish now. There's not a bear left. So don't be surprised if we see some of this retraced. In fact, we left a little bit of air down here. I know you say, well, we're not going to go back to there. Well, it's kind of what happens a lot of the time. So it definitely can. And if you wanted to stop people out, that's where I would take it, right there and right there. Those are certainly areas. But yeah, it's look at this, dude. We're at 200 points here. 6,751, and we'll see if they pop it in the next 22 minutes to get us up 200. It's very rare. Yes, this is the last 250 point day, I think, except for we had right here because of that range. But that wasn't in a one-sided direction though. This was one direction here. This was one direction, and then you got to go back to April, right? So just wild move. They wanted that Dow 50K, and that's what they got here. But again, don't be surprised to see this get yanked. And again, that's not to say we're gonna, a new bear market here, but they left some air there, and I still don't love. I know chips held up, but the Qs here are up 2%. Spiders are up almost 2%. that should be like the Q should be up 3 if the spiders are up 2. If the Qs are up 2, spiders should be up 1 to 1.2. I still just don't love the rebound on the NASDAQ. And I think that this right now, specifically software stocks, will probably stay weak for the next 2 weeks. I think memory will do okay. And I think the old economy stocks will do well. XLP, new highs. My favorite, Exxon, will continue to hold up, especially when we inevitably do something with Iran and this gaps up to 160 or something like that. I think that's going to be the case here a little bit longer. Russell will do well, but I still don't see it from tech yet. And I know that it's up today, but I mean, dude, like, if I just showed you this chart here, like, let's do a 4-hour, like, this doesn't really look like, you could easily say, like, all right, we're retracing, we haven't even made a 382 yet, right? So like if you were a bear, right, you got, well, let me put that back on. Your 618 there, that's where you broke down before. You got this 50%, you got the 200 hourly, the 4-hour, right? This would look like a bearish chart to me, like objectively it is. With the S&P, it's like, oh, this is fine. We didn't even like get to the low end of the broadening channel. We did on ES, which was beautiful, by the way. Look at these parallels here that are working out perfectly. And that coincided with that sweep. That definitely factored into that SPXL trade I took. But yeah, tech's still laggy, and I just don't like that. I just straight up. Especially since it makes up so much of the market. So that's kind of the dynamic here. I don't think there's a need to rush in here to like FOMO in. Like right now, like I said, like all it took was one pump day, and my timeline is like S&P 8,000, like basically just pure euphoria here. So again, we're still inside of this range. That said, this market is awesome for day trading. I mean, like absolutely killer. I do wish we could get more of a trend established, but we got to trade the market we have now, the one we want. And we're going to take a look here. I think it's coming soon. We are seeing some expansion here in the BBs. There's the NQ. It's starting to expand. So, and again, like I said the other day, just because it expands doesn't mean it has to trend the direction it initially goes in. It just means that there's volatility expansion. So, interesting stuff here. Historic day, not only with the Dow closing at the fresh high, but just the range on the ES. It's very, you don't see 200 points like that in one direction. Now, let's see if they get to, no, they're not going to get to 6750 or 6950, but yeah, I mean, we're basically about to hit 200. So wild, incredible move here. Wish I held my runner longer. So that's that. Russell, Dow, SMH, we mentioned. Nice reclaim there. IGV, I still think it's going to be soft here, but I think it's a buy pretty soon. Transports, new highs. We talked about this the other day, that this is kind of like the other caveat. They're up another 2%, and this is going vertical now. But at the same time, I mean, you went sideways for like 4 years. Same thing with, not to continue pumping. Actually, I don't care. I'm going to pump my own Exxon. Like, I know people are going to start shorting this pretty soon, and they're just looking at the daily, oh, it's overbought on the daily. Well, yeah, but the monthly based for like 3 years. Very similar to gold here, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, it's overbought at 2,400. Yeah, but like the monthly, like based for 3 years, right? So transports, they have a legit reason to pump here. Anyway, TLT, flat day held up, 87.50. We talked about that yesterday. That's where it's at. The 2-year ZT was down a little bit, but not much. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. XHB up 1.67. I still think this is also supporting the case for TLT. We'll talk about that later. Oh my God, is IYR doing it? We'll see. Got higher lows there. Yeah, we'll see. It's got a good pattern, but it's had a good pattern for a while, hasn't it? Man, that monthly, that is cool. Like, you want to talk about coiled. I've pointed this out many times, but I mean, convex play, this might be it here too. Anyway, XLF up 1.75, KRE up 2%, new 52-week highs. Broker dealers, very nice retest there and a nice rebound. Oil continues to hold up. I would have liked a stronger close on this today, but it's still not broken. So I don't think we're going to get anything over the weekend. If we do, it's a surprise to me, but usually oil will tell you if that's going to happen. XLE, new all-time high. XOP, new 52-week high. OIH, new 52-week high. Dollar index, 98 was a resistance. Right on the money. We talked about that yesterday. Expect a pullback, and that helped the market out. It also helped out gold and silver, as you can imagine. Wow, big shocker, right? So gold has still got a good, like gold, believe it or not, still has a chance to make this a higher low. I think the likely scenario is a lower high, but right now it's got a chance for higher low. And silver, I told you yesterday, I was like, watch for the 100 MA. If it gets there, I'm to buy. Of course, it got there last night, and I was focused on ES and Bitcoin, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so I didn't buy it, unfortunately. But I figured there was still good support here. Like they just did that to sweep out the dip buyers. So I think this can still get a bid. Again, we're probably looking at another lower high, but it might try to go up for 95 on this leg. Now it just stopped some people out. Platinum, same kind of dealy, maybe 24, 2,500, on a rebound. We'll see how it looks. And palladium didn't make a new low, so that actually firmed up a little bit, but I don't like those big fat distribution candles. And we got copper here. It didn't make a new low to the prior, so that's still trending up for the most part. But no changes there. I just realized I left the subscribe button on. Subscribe to the channel, don't forget. Bitstonk. It's not Bitstink anymore because it bounced. I had an open order here, and again, I talked about this in the live this morning. There is a dealer level IBIT at $35, and I placed open orders there for a reason, and they swept it as expected overnight. If I can get it, here we go. After hours, boom, 35, turn around immediately, boom, big move on BTC. So I'm looking for right now, and I mean, look at the level here. You have to, I had to put an order down there. I had to put an order down there because I knew that they were going to do it at a time where I wasn't ready for it and I wanted to get filled. But now I would just say 75 in the short term. You got some pivots down there, 80 and 85. Keep it simple. This could also, by the way, 35 is still support for next week. Everybody's going to expect a trend move here, so maybe it bases and retests and does that first. But very nice move, very nice rebound. All the alts up, of course. We talked about that level on Solana. It sliced it, and now it's rebounding. If that can squeeze above that, that should get a good pop. Sorry, Ethereum, the 20, 21, 25 area. And then Solana here didn't quite get down to that level. There's another spot right here. Right in there. Didn't even get to either of them really. Got kind of like right in the middle, but you get the idea. Nice bounce. So very good stuff there. It's good. This is a good trader's market here. So anyway, yep, nice pop there, 691. That's a wild move here. There it is, 200 points off the lows. Incredible move for the ES here. So, what can you say? Amazing breakdown. That's a VIX Crush Friday if there ever was one. So I would say market's probably going to hold up here. I will say, I don't think there's a need to rush in to chase anything here. They'll probably come back for a lot of this stuff. I mean, look at the hourly, right? They'll come back for some of this stuff. Next week, I believe they tell me they're going to, Uncle Scott called. They're going to release jobs on Wednesday. So hopefully that gives us a chance here to get some more volatility. Let's take a look here. Now that we're into the hourly 200, let's see. Look at that. I mean, one day through the 618. So pretty incredible stuff. Let's see what the NQ. I bet you the NQ. Yeah, the NQ is not even at. Okay, it got to the 382. Let me see. QQQ. Did it even get? It still isn't even there. This is going to close below 610. 25.2 is mega resistance right here. Not just because of those pivots, but because that is the bull market trend line. Cool stuff. Anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. You guys take care. Don't forget to find me on carnivoretrades.com. We'll see you guys all tomorrow or Monday.